Today is September 29th, 2025. I just got out of and made it home from the boxing class. I missed my boo. I missed my boo to boxing class. I enjoy boxing. It seemed to me like today we did a little bit of MMA because it was kicks involved. It wasn't just straight boxing, and even still, I appreciated that as well. That's fun. That's fun too. I missed putting my gloves on, to be honest. It felt really good. And the way that I sweat in there, honey, that's sweaty, but I like it. I like it a lot. I feel accomplished. I did my first little physical activity for today. Later on tonight, I'm taking Munchkin to class, and then I will be doing one of Liz's workouts. Overall, life had been lifing last week. Life was doing that thing she do, doing that thing she be doing sometimes. But to come out of all that was last week, I was in a very, very not so bright mental space last week. And my mental space, sometimes when my mental gets dark like that, it's hard for me to do anything. It's very hard, honestly. And I know some people are just like, you need to move your body, and that's so hard to do. I think people who don't experience like extreme versions of depression, it all for them boils down to making the choice to do the thing and then doing the thing. But sometimes chemically, brains are set up where if your brain is like, baby, the lights is off, we're not doing that shit, your physical won't do the shit. Okay, it's more than just, get up and do it anyway. It's deeper than that for some people, and I just so happen to be one of those people. And so last week, my mental space was such that all I was focused on was trying to keep myself emotionally in a functional enough state to be able to not rub all of my sadness and anger and frustration off on my child, because she didn't have nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? Being in a space where that's occupying more mental space than anything else is intense. And so my physical space lacked because of it. I have to be honest about what was. I'm able to pinpoint now what that looks like for me, so that when I see, okay, the lights is dim, okay, shit is starting to, I'm able to see like, all right, the lights is dim, shit is not, it's not looking so right. I'm able to better be like, okay, first off, let's get in a space where we can rectify what's going on. Let's identify exactly what's triggering the situation. You really can't, I would not get in the ring with Muhammad Ali without watching prior fights. Okay, just use that as an example. I would not. Otherwise, Muhammad in his prime was gonna whip my motherfucking ass up, down, round and round the ring. Okay, and that's kind of what my depression feels like. It feels like being in the ring with a top-notch fighter in their prime. Okay, if you're if you're not observing yourself, being self-aware of being aware of what it feels like in your body when shit is not going the way it should be, when the systems is malfunctioning, then you put yourself in a position to not be able to succeed, to be honest. And it's very easy to get lost in burying the feelings or just trying to work through it. That's why a lot of people, I'm one of those people, have periods or had periods in their life where you try to drink it away, you try to smoke it away, you try to fuck it away, you try to shop it away, you eat it away, or whatever the case may be. And I'm not in a space anymore where I'm willing to allow myself to make the decisions to indulge in poor coping mechanisms, period. So much so, here's some wins for myself from that past week, so I'm not just beating myself up about the fact that I had that week. When I did decide to eat some of my feelings, I only had like 3 scoops of ice cream before I put that shit up. When I did feel the need to shop those feelings away. I budgeted. I took a moment and was like, I could buy these things because I like nice things. But instead, I'm going to just go ahead and give Ashley the money for the rash guards and go ahead and save the rest of it. Fuck it, put it up. Spend it on my savings. Okay? Period. You got to make smarter decisions with your life, even if it's hard. And I had to choose my heart. Either you gonna blow your money and eat all this ice cream, or you're going to not buy the bullshit, save your bills, and be responsible with the shit that you're eating. Also, we went to the fair, so you got a little bit of bullshit in there anyway, I don't know, it's just, this past week had really not been the best mentally and emotionally, and I'm thankful to be able to Sunday have reset, being able to reset my mental and emotional space, if even enough to just make better choices. Went ahead and prepped lunch and breakfast for the week. Went ahead and got Munchkin's hair done, little bit of cleaning, resetting my physical space helps me personally to reset my mental space. And I have to remember that when I'm feeling some kind of way, not like to bury myself in the cleaning or cooking or whatever, but utilizing those activities to help me sort out my mental space. I don't know. And then last night went the way that it went. We set ourselves up for this week. Monday is starting strong. Homework is already started. Breakfast was eaten. Boxing class was done. I'm about to hop in the shower and go get the baby. Take the baby to class. I started cooking for today, so I don't have to worry about it. I'm gonna go ahead and finish that up later on tonight. But it's just I feel better, and also being able to start the day, whatever you want to call it, whether it's prayer or whether it's meditation, whatever you want to call it. It's being able to start the day in a space of gratitude. I said it earlier on my story. I don't know if it's the Celsius or the music I've been listening to today, but your girl is pumped. And I feel like a lot of it has to do with the fact that I, on purpose, spoke out loud gratitude for little things. It's the little things that make up life in general. I don't know. I'm in a really good headspace. Being able to keep moving, So much gratitude I have for the ability to be able to move, in and of itself. I've been in positions where, for example, with the surgery, physically couldn't move, or been in spaces where my mental state was just so fucked. I just couldn't get myself to do it, I can see where the discipline is starting to become an easier choice to make, because being disciplined is a choice, getting to a space where, just getting up and doing the little things that'll set you up for later on. It's getting to be an easier choice to make. And I'm thankful for that. Overall, who knew, all I needed to do was find a space to be able to consistently choose to move my body for me to be able to start visibly becoming the individual I talk all the time about wanting to be. I see a lot of positive for myself. I see a disciplined individual. I see a good example for my child. I see a good friend, a great lover. I see a lot of different things when I think about the version of myself I want to be. And to see the small areas where that's actively happening, The version of myself I want to be is very much so fit. Your girl is doing some sort of physical activity almost every day. And I not just once a day neither. Some of them days, I'm thankful. the version of myself that I see, you know, myself becoming don't necessarily have a whole bunch of friends, but she is part of, you know, productive communities. And here we are, yeah, being a part of team photos and shit, you know. I'm thankful. And all this came from talking about boxing class today. It was great. It was great. I got tired. I got a little bit tired towards the end of them rounds, but whereas 5-minute drill rounds, right? I'm getting down to the last minute and a half before I'm like, all right, your girl is tired. Okay. Thankful for the way that things are panning out. So that's all for today. This was a long one, but I needed this rant so I can later on, when it's hard, go back and look at these, because that's what I do anyway. Go back and listen to myself talk, because sometimes I drop gems in the present tense that I need later on in life. Those reminders, you know, that you are becoming who you say you want to be. You know, you are motivated, you're inspired, you're actively choosing to be disciplined. You know, it's a choice you made at one point, so it's a choice you can continue to make. It's just good. So that's all for now. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Until next time, have a great day.